Good morning and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to Chet Chats. I hope you are having a spectacular Wednesday thus far. We're already in the second week of August, which means we are halfway through month 8 of 12, so that's wild. But in other news, good morning. Thanks for tuning in. We have our special shouts. Oh, wow, we actually have people right now. That's so cool.
That we can see anyway.
Special shout-outs and thank you to our sponsors, all you.
Oh, good morning. Don't have me laughing. We will talk about this on a commercial break, people. Hey, lunch. Hey, meal. First of all, before I get started, I'd like to thank everyone that continue to support us in this journey called Hefe, Journey to Economic Freedom, as well as Chet Chats. I really appreciate the support. Second of all, I'd like to give our sponsorship, Changing Lives at Home, Green Veteran Donation Center, J. Alex Jewels, HefeHair.com, HefeHairStudio.com, Lyric Party Gang, Knotted Together, LACruiser.com, PremierTagAndTitle.com, and last but not least, Synergy.com. And before I get started, I'd like to send special prayers out to everyone today, just because. So what's up, Sha? What's going on in your mind?
Good morning, y'all. We love you too. Well, lots of things. I think that's why my head is so big, because I think a lot.
Yeah, imagine that.
But today's large topic, you get to answer questions about. Morning, Dalen. We love you. That you get to answer about in less than 25 minutes, Dad.
Okay.
Is poverty and homelessness. Now, I'll narrow it down slightly.
Yeah, because I'm about to say that's big. I mean, that's some big topics you want to discuss.
So for anyone who has been Facebook friends with me since I've had Facebook, I am very adamant about homelessness and my need to help homelessness and to volunteer in homeless shelters, simply because I feel that no one wants to be homeless, in my opinion, and except for my great uncle who passed, who was homelessness willingly.
Yeah, that's bizarre, people. That's a whole nother.
That's a whole other thing. But other than him,
yeah,
I have never.
A sure genius, but was on another spectacle. In
Absolutely.
my opinion, yes. But we're not talking about your uncle.
But other than him,
that would be your great uncle.
I said my great uncle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've never met anyone who has willingly wanted to be homeless. So, with all that being said, Dad, my question for you, homelessness is going to tie into the poverty question, is I guess, well, one, your opinions on it, and then two, how would we as, I don't know, a community or a country, world, whatever spectrum you want to go with, how do we work to continue or to improve homelessness or someday end homelessness / poverty?
Okay. Again, people.
Less than 25.
Yes. Please, people, feel free to join in and chime in and help me at any given time you like. Homelessness. Well, it's a big topic, big subject matter. For those that are facing homelessness, I hope you don't ever have to face that. Most people, unfortunately, in America is a paycheck away from homelessness. They might not realize this. And that's the sad part, especially in the United States, as wealthy as this country is, right? Second, it has a lot to do with your mindset and mental illness, as we talk about it. And I agree, most people, I don't think when being born that that's their admiration to wake up to be homeless in any capacity. So that's mindset. And I know we talk about it a lot, about the mindset, and people, we do have to change our mindset. I know it's a cliche, expecting the same, different results doing the same thing. So if you want a different result, you have to do some things differently. And I believe with poverty and homelessness, they run in neck to neck because, again, most people don't, you can look this stat up, people, most people are a paycheck away from themselves from being homeless. And that shouldn't be, especially in a country that has plenty, in my opinion.
That's sad.
Yes.
As of 2017, there were 554,000 homeless people documented in the United States.
Yes.
So that was 2 years ago.
Right.
So
that's a documentation.
And that's documented.
Right. And that's probably those who, one course or another, came in and got some type of help medically to, you know, help them get through the day, because I personally try to volunteer. I haven't been able to go lately downtown out here. You know, I took you a few times with me, and I know you do it back east when I was gone away on my sabbatical and whatnot. So, but it's a scary situation, people. I think homelessness need to stop. I think we need to redirect our energies as it relates to financing over a global situation. And again, I don't know what a person is in a rush to get more. Don't get me wrong. If I ruled the world, everybody wouldn't be homeless if they chose not to be. Because like you said, my uncle, your great uncle, his mind was on another spectrum, people. I mean that sincerely, in a great way. He was listed as a genius when he was growing up. So I get that. I mean, so anyway, forgive me, Shy, because it saddens me that we had to talk about an issue like this, and it relates because when I go down there on Tuesday, when I afforded the time to go down there on Tuesday, and I would like to give them a shout out on Peggy Bridges Foundation that helps feed the homeless every Tuesday at 1 p.m. on Town and 5th. If you're in the LA area and would like to help out, that's where they're located. They right across the street from Fred Jordan Mission Center. Yes, that's a shout out to them because they're doing an excellent job, in my opinion. And again, they feed until the food run out, and often the food runs out very quickly. And then you have other people that's getting geared up to do things as well in the community to help combat homelessness. And I think one of the things that we can do to combat homelessness is better mental health care. You know, and I say this all the time, and we always joke that we exercise our body, but we also need to exercise our mind. How do you feel about it? What do you think can be done to end homelessness and whatnot?
That is that's a great question.
Yes. I mean, because
I think there's a lot that can be done with home. I think initially, and I talked to you about this the other day, I walk every morning, and on my way on the path that I generally take, there's now like a homeless family. There's, I think, a family of 2. They might have 3 of them who now like live on the sidewalk that I walk on. And my initial thought is always, oh my gosh, like this is someone's home. Like their home is literally mobile. Their home is in two shopping carts and then whatever else that they can carry in their hands. And my other thought I was telling you was, how do people look at homeless people and think that they're eyesores to the community when they're still human beings?
Right.
So I think that initially from jump, those who are more privileged and those who have more like stability and income and can afford to do X, Y, Z have to change their mindset to stop looking at homeless people as if they're not people.
It's disposable.
Right, because they're still people.
Right. Excuse me for cutting you off, because people have put it on their posts where you'll see a group of people at a nice restaurant, and literally outside the restaurant you have people knocked out homelessness, sleeping, you know, trying to get themselves together. So go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. So I just think that one, it starts there. Like we have to stop being so judgmental of others. And like I said,
you never know their walk.
You don't. And I honestly do not believe that majority of the homeless people who are experiencing homelessness want to be homeless. I don't think they woke up one day and it's like, today I'm getting rid of everything that I have had and I'm going to be homeless.
Right.
So I think it starts there with us who are more privileged and do have access to other things. 2, I believe, and again, because I don't know LA yet as well as I do know Baltimore, but Baltimore City has a ton of abandoned buildings that instead of being demolished, I believe could easily be turned into more homeless shelters to help with homelessness, to help get people off of the streets. And there are a lot of other cities where instead of helping homeless people, they are punishing them, and they're putting things in locations where they cannot sleep anymore. For instance, like spikes in the ground, so that way they can't sleep in that part of the street.
Right. So the money that they spending on to try to combat areas of where homelessness is could potentially be put on building a better homeless shelter with resources to get to help them out and to understand how did they get to this point, you know. So go ahead. I'm sorry, because if you're using money to do that, and then they always say they don't have money for this, so let's reallocate the money to better a situation instead of making it worse. Okay, that's why I'm just chiming in.
And greatly, it's just thinking that it boils down to the people forget that homeless people are still people. It's like they look at them as their lesser, oh, they're homeless, so it's like, why? Or the other thing is that they're scared to help the homeless people, which honestly I do understand, because a lot of the homeless people that I have experienced do have some type of mental disorder, which can be slightly scary if you don't acknowledge that they do have that. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I was out with a few friends one night, a couple weeks ago, and we was in a nice area of LA, and this gentleman happened to be particularly homeless, and he started yelling antic things, right? So again, I think his mental state was not there. So I didn't stop. We didn't stop. We wound up just getting in the vehicle and pulling off, because again, we don't know his mental state of where he's mentally, because it wasn't like some of them come up to you, you have any change to spare, so forth and so on, you have any clothes, food, or whatnot. But then you do have others, unfortunately, that are yelling in the air, as I call it, yelling at someone or something as they continue to walk and whatnot. So those could be a little more scarier to deal with than the actual one that's somewhat saying, hey, man, you have any change, or could you help me get a meal, or so forth and whatnot. And then something now and it saddens me on this part, everybody's not homeless.
Yes.
See, that saddens me. Because back in Baltimore, it was a crew of people,
a
whole crew, right, going around panhandling, and really they wasn't homeless. Right. So there again lies an opportunity where we can try to fix something. Then you have someone wanting to take advantage of, and normally, unfortunately, advantage is taken on somebody else's misfortune. People don't want to realize that, but if you look out through time, through history, that normally somebody else's advantage comes from somebody's misfortune. We can take it all the way back to slavery. I mean, I'm not going to go that far because we're talking about poverty, but that is all honestly connected with the homelessness, the poverty, the mindset, thoughts, and so forth and so on. Please, people, feel free to chime in, because we're looking to get results. You know, we're looking to resolve issues that I think are resolvable, in my opinion, and one of them is homelessness. Again, I don't have all the answers, as we always state. A lot of the chats is our opinions. My daughter brings up interesting topics, in my opinion, and we try to converse on them to give better outlook to those that are actually watching, and those who, when you share the podcast to others, can get another insight potentially of what's going on, not just in their particular bubble of life. Because I think we all have different circles of life that we interact. Some can go further left, further right, all depending on your mobility in life as well. And I just think that it's come time, people, that we become more accountable, more responsible, and not just helping yourself as an individual, but helping others as individuals. And again, I know everybody don't always have the finance to help someone, because again, I just stated a fact. I mean, you can look it up. I said it as an opinion, but most people in America are one check away from being homelessness themselves. That's sad.
That's sad.
And then if a company closed down, so forth and so on. So I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish that on even people I don't really associate with. However, I know we can resolve some of these issues because we have a lot of bright minds out in the community. I just think a lot of the brighter minds get dulled down due to politics, in my opinion, you know, because they've been doing things so long one way. That's the only way they think things can be done. Right. But anybody that know math, and I like doing math as it relates to numbers, you can get to 4 more than one way. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 0, 4 times 1. You know, so it goes on. Right. The point I'm making is, people, if the old tactics aren't working as it relates to bettering yourself, better than your family, better than your community, and then better than your nation, you must now change and get a new mindset to do that, if you choose to want to do that. And like my daughter, she has poverty and homelessness. Poverty is way bigger than just money, people. It's a mindset, and it saddens me that we as people aren't looking at, we are eventually accountable for each other. I mean, it might not sound that way because we have people who want to go to the left, you have people who want to go to the right, you have people who want to stay in the middle, you know, as they call conservative. But when it's all said and done, we are all connected on this here planet. period. They say 6 degrees of separation. Some people are less than that from each other. And when you look at it, and I'm not saying you're always going to agree with each other, but certain topics I think we can agree upon. We want to be a nation of plenty, so we have to share. I mean, and there lies the problem sometimes when people get in that mindset that I earned this, which you probably did. I'm not saying you didn't earn it and whatnot. However, I haven't met not one person that could take it with them yet. I've seen somebody try to actually bury their belongings, people. So I'm not saying nobody's above something, but I haven't seen anyone been able to take all their zeros with them. Now, I know they've been able to give them away, but I've never seen one person able to take them all with them. So with that being stated, maybe you want to give a 0 or 2 away, and the people, this really saddens me because I work with the homelessness and I try to help. And then we also, another young lady, she works with the veteran homelessness. And that shouldn't be as well, because you have these people. Now, I know I'm getting off a little bit, but it's all related to homelessness. You have people that go and fight for this country, quote unquote, for democracy, as they call it. That's a whole nother story, people. But quote unquote, they go fight for this country for democracy. And then when they come back, you have them being homeless. That's not even remotely correct in my mindset. No veteran should be homeless. Nobody should be homeless, period, in my opinion, because we have plenty of buildings. I know you're going to then come on, some of y'all can come on and add, well, check the math in it, so forth and so on. Please understand, people, I understand that part of it. I'm just sharing, if we change our mindsets on it and start thinking of these people, that could be your family member, that could be your cousin, your mother, your brother. And for some cases, it is somebody in their family. And I get it. You know, some of them on illicit drugs, so their mindset is not where, and you probably didn't help them. I'm not going to sit up there and say you haven't, because as we stated earlier, we had a bona fide family member that chose to be homeless. Yes, he had an alcohol problem at various times. So I get it. Please, people, like I said, when I talk to y'all, my daughter talked to you, I can speak for me on this. I'm not above you. I'm not below you. I'm beside you. And if you understand that, and anybody know me, that's how I've always been. I want you to be beside me, because as I grow, you grow, we can conquer anything in this society. But we have to change our mindsets as it relates to it. We have to stop looking at people as less. I don't even know where a person can get that out, because you come through the same canal system, a woman's womb, to be born. So I don't understand how that person is less. They might not have your same concepts or understanding, but don't, write them off as less. How do you feel about that, Shai? Because, I can take the A and I can get it going on and on and on. Hey, Mark, thanks for joining as well.
It boils down to us not, I say us as just like a collective, not looking at homeless people as if they're people when they're still people. Like they still
looking at them as they're not.
As they're not, right.
Okay.
They're still, they breathe, they eat, they sleep, like they're still human beings. And I feel that there's a lot of times where, again, it just boils down to how we're looking at it. It boils down to, oh, well, they're on the streets, so like that's their issue, not mine. But at the end of the day, it's like we all belong. We're all stuck on this planet that is floating in a solar system. Like there's no way off of this planet. Unless,
not yet, anyway.
Right, unless you pass, and unless they somehow find life forms or can find suitable living spaces on another planet. Right. So at the end of the day, it's like we are all stuck on this one planet, and instead of being so, I don't even know, like separated.
Separated.
We need to like come together, and I don't think that I really do not believe that it is hard to be a good person, and that it is hard to help others, even if like the only thing that you do is smile at someone. That smile can go a long way for a long part of that person's day. So it's not a matter of, it doesn't have to be materialistic things. Like you don't have to give someone something that you don't have. Like that's not what it is that's not what it is that I believe that they're asking for. If anything, I think that they're asking to be viewed as still a human being, because again, in my opinion, homelessness is not their first option of like lifestyle.
Lifestyle, right.
And then two, if you have something like an extra water bottle when it's really hot outside and all you're going to do is go back home and put it in your refrigerator, give it to that person. Or when it's cold outside and you have extra blankets that you're about to go donate to Goodwill, give it to someone else who could actually use it. I just feel like we are a wasteful community of people. Just as a whole, I think humans are very wasteful. And instead of we are literally wasteful. We give our waste to China so that they can recycle things. Fun fact. You can look it up. That one's true. So instead of us doing things like that, it's like we are intelligent enough to make better decisions that will benefit everyone, not just a select group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And again, homeless people are still people.
They human.
They're human beings.
They're human beings, and they shouldn't be treated as less. If anything, they should be, should be treated as human, like you would treat somebody that you care for.
Exactly.
Again, and I know some of them do have schizophrenic behaviors. Some of them definitely had mental health issues, but the large majority, a portion of them don't believe. Because I actually talked to some of them, and some of them said they never chose to be homeless, but some of the choices they did make didn't pan out for the betterment of themselves, and then some don't even have family to go back to. Right. They passed away, or they discarded them as family members, so forth and so on, due to certain lifestyle choices they chose to live and whatnot. But again, I just think people, like we always keep saying, know better, do better. We really need to implement that statement on a big scale, small scale, everyday scale. If you know better, do better. And again, I'm not telling you to go into your bank account and get your 401k out, or your Roth account, or your insurance policy, and just give it to an individual or give it to an organization. All I'm saying is, if we continue to change our mindsets and to want to really help each other, then things would change. Government say this, government say that, but there's a lot of finances out there that can change a lot. Because one thing I do know about the universe, things do revolve around. So as you think you're on the top today, tomorrow you may not be. I wish I could have everybody on the top so the world would look like this, and then it just like that. It just look like that. But that's just jokingly, but I really wish everybody prosperity in life, anybody that know me, even the people that I don't really associate with. I don't go around personally badging them, in any capacity. But I just know it's things that can be done that can truly help each other. These things are, as a young lady just said, perhaps we due to underexposure. I think so. I think it's done by design to a degree, to be underexposed. And this is one of the reasons I always try to tell people, the more intelligent you become, the more choices and opportunity there's allowed to you. Please, people, when you're raising your child, and I know it might be hard, and those who are doing a great, fabulous job in raising their children or child, continue to spread the necessary, that education and learning is extremely important. Because the more people you get to have a better understanding, the more people then can help resolve an issue, in my opinion, moving forward. But a lot of times we are undereducated, in my opinion. We're not have the access to the education and learning systems that's needed to combat poverty as well as homelessness. Because a lot of times in school, they don't teach you these things about economics. They don't teach you these things, in my opinion, about life skills and whatnot. So yes, being underexposed is definitely a problem. We need more exposure on a grander scale as it relates. And people that are right now homeless, I know you're probably not even listening to this broadcast, but when somebody comes to you to be open to want to help you, be mindful that it's people out here that want to help, but you got to also do the work behind it. It's not just a giving thing in my part. It needs to become a partnership and get together and resolve that issue as collectively. So is anything else?
Well, we're wrapping it up because it's time, but wow. As always, please leave your comments and thoughts below in our comments section. And also, again, I think the overall general statement for today's segment is to continue to treat people as they are your equal. There's this book I read in like 7th grade called Walk 2 Moons, and the quote was, "Do not judge a man until you've walked 2 moons in his moccasins." So don't judge people based off of what it is that you see, because you never know their lifestyle and the path that they took in order to get where they are. So continue to spread love and light, and I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday today.
Peace.